We literally just started this manifestation challenge and you guys are already manifesting successes. And so for this video, I wanted to immediately talk about one of those successes because you guys are absolutely killing it. If you are new here, we are doing a 7-day challenge taking you from wherever you are, any circumstance, no matter what it is, from your exact position to your specific person in just 7 days. And our previous video talked about letting go and completely getting rid of any circumstances. And this person acted on that quite literally. Here's what they wrote. They wrote, was literally listening in the shower and said, I assumed she will call me. And at 8:05, she called. So if you have not checked out day one of the manifestation challenge, 7-day challenge already, I'll go back to that video specifically to 8:05 because it looks like there's some magic in that point of the video. And for today, not only did I have an idea for you, because every single day I want you on the perfect path to manifesting what you want, but I also wanted to answer a couple questions that I think would be extremely beneficial, because one of my recent videos actually talked about divine guidance and someone asked a question in relation to that. So someone asked, what if my intuition is telling me to reach out to the third party and be friendly like we used to be? Now, this might sound random. I don't know this person's specific situation, and maybe you've had the same thought. Maybe you had the feeling to reach out to your specific person, reach out to somebody, or had the urge to do something in your reality. And the trick is to remember that your manifestation, your state is always going to give you divine guidance in order to help with whatever state you're in. So if you do feel the urge to do anything in your reality, that can be the perfect bridge of events taking you from where you are to where you want to go. And I would definitely listen to it, but always remember that whatever state you're in is going to align and give you divine guidance, meaning someone in a depressed state will get divine guidance to stay in that state, whereas someone in a happy, fulfilled state, so you, when you're imagining already being with your specific person, is going to get divine guidance to pull you forward with that. And I actually had a Neville Goddard quote in order to dive in a little bit deeper, because I feel like those quotes are really helping everyone kind of get into the state and going to help you manifest in the best way possible. So here's a quote, and it's from the book Awaken Imagination and the Search. I'll put it up on the screen because it's a long one, so bear with me. There are To attempt to change the world before we change our concept of ourselves is to struggle against the nature of things. There can be no outer change until there is first an inner change. As within, so without. I am not advocating philosophical indifference when I suggest that we should imagine ourselves as already that which we want to be, living in a mental atmosphere of greatness, rather than using physical means and arguments to bring about the desired change. Everything we do, unaccompanied by a change of consciousness, is but futile readjustment to surfaces. However we toil or struggle, we can receive no more than our subconscious assumptions affirm. And so this, I know it may sound confusing. I'll make it make sense. So it's basically saying when we think of manifestation, sometimes we can think that we're not supposed to do anything, right? We are actually meant to only focus on our internal state. But what Neville Goddard says, and nowhere in Law of Assumption does it say to do this, that you will imagine and then won't be on a bridge of events or won't be in a divine guidance, okay? So we want to be acting on those divine guidance, whatever you're feeling, whatever urge, whatever's manifesting in your reality is helping you get there. And so this is where Neville Goddard says, that point again, in no way, I'm not advocating philosophical indifference when I suggest that we should imagine ourselves as already that which we want to be, living in a mental atmosphere of greatness rather than using physical blah, blah, blah. Basically, you are going to be wanting to act out whatever it is that you feel is in divine guidance, taking you to where you want to go. So if that is potentially reaching out to a third party, ask yourself, what's the point of this? Why am I feeling like doing this? What does this mean to me? And then act upon it. Because again, a lot of people think that we are just going to have our reality change for us, but you are your reality. Everything you are doing, all the actions you take, your state of being, your consciousness is going to be what is reflecting. So in these 7 days, when you are on the path to your specific person, make sure to act that out. If we are actively assuming a state of consciousness, but not acting or being that way in our reality, then we're not going to experience the change we want. And it doesn't have to be anything difficult. So when we say that you don't need action to change your manifestation or bring about your specific person, that is true, meaning you're not going to be forcing your reality. It's all going to be easy stuff. You're going to be the urge or feel the urge to act in a certain way or do something or text someone or read a book, right? Or watch this video, right? This is actually divine guidance taking you to your specific person. So I just wanted to put that out there. And I'll have another idea that kind of relates to this. But then also I wanted to answer the following question. So someone else wrote, hi, since you're taking questions, I was wondering how we can keep ourselves convinced of the end state. I find it hard to keep living like I already have what I want at times. And I would love to know your thoughts on how we can keep ourselves positive. So the trick behind this, and don't worry, I have another Neville Goddard quote that's going to make it make sense. It all depends on where our focus is. So sometimes we think it's hard to imagine or stay in our end state, but really it's all because we're focusing on something negative or something down or something that is the opposite of what we want. And that's not going to help us at all. We need to focus on exactly what it is that we desire, and the only difficulties that we experience is because we're not fulfilling that. And this is mentioned perfectly in the same exact book by Neville Goddard, and he wrote, "Successful realization of the thing desired is also told to us in the story of Daniel in the lion's den. Here it is recorded that Daniel, while in the lion's den, turned his back upon the lions and looked towards the light coming from above, that the lions remained powerless, and Daniel's faith in his God saved him." So this is exactly what we're doing in manifestation, right? The lions in this scenario are your external 3D reality. And so Daniel in this case focused on the light, focused on his end state, right? Focused on where he wanted to go. And the lions were powerless to touch him. The same thing is happening in your reality. All these 3D circumstances you feel are in your way have absolutely no effect on you as long as you stare at the light. And I know at first we're going to be thinking, yeah, but it doesn't feel that easy. It doesn't feel that easy, again, when we're focused on where we don't want to go. When we're focused on something that is not helping us, something that is working against us. That's the focus that is killing our mindset and making it hard to live and feel as if we already have what we want, which thus then makes it confusing on what to do in your reality and how to manifest or bring it to you. Because your consciousness, your state of being is exactly what is reflecting outside of you. And you should use anything and everything to bring your specific person to you in the same way that your subconscious is doing that. Everything is always and absolutely working out in your favor. So the trick is to look at where your consciousness is going. Where are you focusing? And that's going to be the largest and biggest aspect in your manifestation. And I know, again, most people aren't going to believe me. They're going to be like, oh, I've tried that. But really think about it. It's just as easy to focus on something negative as it would be to focus on something positive. And it's just as easy to place a positive value on your reality as it would be a negative one. So act like Daniel and focus on where you want to go, and your 3D will be powerless. I know it might feel like, because sometimes when you're like, think of walking in the dark and you're like nervous or scared and you feel like something's going to reach out and grab you. It's kind of that feeling. I don't know if you guys get that, but to me, it gets that feeling when you're like focusing on your end state and ignoring your 3D reality, because you feel like that is affecting you, but it really isn't, okay? Your reality can't touch you when you focus on your end state. Everything works out in your favor. So you literally, as long as you're focusing on the light, focusing on your end, focusing on what's working out for you rather than what's not working out for you, or focusing on how your specific person can show up in your reality or how it can manifest, then by the end of these 7 days, you're gonna have exactly what you want. And literally, it's impossible to fail. Literally impossible. Now, again, going back to that like original success story where they instantly got the message just by focusing on it. Is that going to happen every single time? Probably not, right? In our own reality, we all have different assumptions, different realizations, different aspects of our beliefs that are going to impact that. But does it mean that it can't take, or it can't be that quick in every scenario? It absolutely can. You have the ability to create everything you want right here and right now. And that's just what we want to focus on. And so going into this idea, because this is the idea I wanted for today. And if you have any other questions, and I'll remind everyone after this idea, definitely comment them down below. And let me know as well everyone's updates. So if it's day 2 of your manifestation, what's going on? How are you? You guys are already commenting success stories. So what's going on? What positives have you gotten? Literally, I guarantee you, if you focus, if you feel that you have not gotten successes or positive movements so far, we're not paying as close attention because everything is working out in your favor. So today I wanted to focus on what we feel, or to review the word or aspect of being logical. So what would we say is logical in our reality, right? Logic is not what we think it is. Normally we think of logic as being actually something negative. Like I've heard or have people refer to logic as being, oh, it's reality, right? It's what's real, what's happening. Your specific person's not next to you. That's logic. But no, logic has everything to do with our state. So what's logical for one person is not logical for the other. So think about the aspect of that original success story of the person immediately in the first video in the 7-day challenge manifesting a text. Again, it's not their end state. They're on the movement to that, but that felt logical probably in the moment after it occurred. But the same thing can happen here. If something doesn't feel logical, It's just in relation to the state. If it doesn't feel like it's logical your specific person shows up tomorrow, it will be when you guys are married, right? So the logic is going to change. But if logic is something permanent, how is it just changing like that? And so the way I like to think about it is, to a depressed person and a happy person, if you take these two individuals in two states, what's logical is very different. To a depressed person, the idea that your specific person is going to show up tomorrow, the logic is that no, right? The logic is it's not going to happen. That's impossible. It's not going to occur. But to the happy, abundant person, why does all of a sudden the logic change? It's the same thing with divine guidance, right? And I know we're on this divine guidance train, but that's exactly what's going to happen, and why it's the logic changes. So why are we using that as an excuse to not manifest? It can be logical. Your specific person texts you right now. You will experience that. In the 4D, you've actually already experienced that. Think about the version of you that's married to your specific person. Would it be illogical that they get texted right now? No. So you are already that person, and you could take upon all those beliefs and those feelings. Now, it will, and sometimes it feels like it takes time, and that's okay. Don't worry about that. Because in the process, it's actually all the movements, the creations that we're having that is really effective at bringing us to our manifestation. So again, I want you to focus on these ideas and these concepts. Are we acting like Daniel in the lion den? Are we focusing on exactly what we want instead of focusing on what we don't want, right? And as soon as you focus on what you want, everything else in your 3D is going to become powerless, and it's not going to happen. As well as this, do we feel as if we're imagining for the end, but not acting in that way in our reality? That's a huge no-no as well, right? And that's where then, so it's crazy, but because we don't have to exert action, effort, massive energy to get what we want. We will be guided, but remember, there still is a guidance happening, meaning there will be a bridge of events. So even when you have these instant manifestations, there's going to be a bridge of events happening, and that's all connected to, again, what's logical for you. Think of it in this way as well. This is the example I always like to use. If you think of a millionaire, it makes sense that they make $1 million or $100,000 tomorrow. Now, for us, maybe not so much, right? It doesn't feel that way, but it's just a state. If logic is the truth and logic is your reality, it shouldn't be changing from person to person. So think about today, now acting on your imagination. What do you feel divinely guided to do? And what is the reasoning that you do that? So going back to that person who felt divinely guided to reach out to someone, you can ask yourself, because sometimes it's confusing on what to do. What is your goal of this? What state are you acting from? And never act from a state that doesn't align with what you want. That's like your main goal. Do not do it. Absolutely do not act from a state that doesn't align with your goal. Take zero action. Literally do nothing. If you're texting your specific person on the phone and it's all of a sudden you feel yourself out of the state, stop texting entirely, right? It's because it's all about the habitual and natural state of what we're feeling and doing that's going to create the outcome that we want. And so today, that's all we have to focus on. Again, we're making it simple, easy, effortless. Make sure to comment in the comment section below exactly all your thoughts, your successes, your updates, anything. Again, I want to see everyone's updates down there. Any questions again? At all. I want to answer questions on this because my main focus is everybody watching this right here and right now. So if you did have any questions, comments, successes, again, updates, even if they're minimal, you don't know how much you're going to help everyone by writing that in the comment section. Because even if you just see a sign you run into your specific person, people in my coaching sessions recently were kind of running into their SP, having successes. I got this text today about a really awesome success. I wanted to include in a different video, maybe in the future, but it's something about today is the day. So make sure to comment that down below. Again, any questions, if you did want to reach out to me personally, like you did want to think or know of a question that is kind of too personal and you just want to ask me personally, head over to kyleaugustcoaching.com. I'd be happy to answer any questions, especially if it's in relation to this, or if you have a success story that you don't want to post publicly, I would love to include it in my future videos because I feel like those are so powerful and so abundant and so like helpful to everyone. Now, if you see a success story and you don't feel helped out, remember, it's just because our state isn't in alignment with that. Because all these success stories, you're just as capable as receiving and doing and manifesting right here, right now. Everybody can get, I know it's way past 8:05 right now. Everyone can get that text or that call at 8:05, right? There's nothing limiting you. Now, during the process, it may feel like we have to perceive time as a learning factor, but that's okay because again, the whole goal is within these 7 days. So make sure you're acting that out. Make sure you're totally understanding that divine guidance is going to be taking you to your manifestation. So assume and imagine, and then do whatever you feel is in alignment with that. Act like Daniel in the lion's den, and you guys are absolutely going to be exactly with your specific person in the quickest and easiest way possible. If you're still totally hyped on this journey, totally ready to manifest everything that you want with your specific person, and it's going to be every single person watching this is going to be with their SP. Make sure if you wanted to help me out, leave a like on this video, and then if you did want to follow through with this and make it easier, you can always subscribe. You don't have to. Just come back to this. But either way, we're going to be on these 7 days, on this 7-day journey, taking you from, again, wherever you are to your specific person. Thank you again so much for stopping by today, and I can't wait to see all of your comments and updates below, and then I can't wait to see you in my next video tomorrow.